wand spin to cover the action. And this vanish, used in this cups and balls routine, probably did the most to spread awareness of this move. In fact, it's often referred to as the Vernon wand spin. But it's safe to say that this is one move where being aware of what's going on and being able to do it are two completely different things. Here's what the move looks like. First, you have to completely understand this spin, because this spin takes place at the exact moment the ball drops from one hand into the other. Hold the wand exactly this way, between the thumb, index, and middle fingers, right at the center of the wand. The wand will never move from between these two fingers, and it's going to start and stop in the same position, and it's going to seem to revolve twice. As this end goes under the forearm, the right thumb lets go, leaving the wand between the index and middle fingers. Continuing around, it goes forward, comes back over the forearm, before returning back to its original position. Under the forearm, over the forearm, and back. A heavy wand is easier to spin because it creates its own momentum. Notice that in spinning the wand, the right hand opens and closes. That's what allows it to catch the ball. Now let's look at the timing of the catch. To prevent flashing, the ball in the right hand must move at the same speed. Now the right hand has been moving, so it's moving rather quickly during the spin, and the ball is just starting to drop. Vernon used to say the initial velocity, that's a terminology that he picked up when he was in the military, because of the initial velocity of a bullet. It's slower than it ultimately starts to travel. The initial velocity is slower. So release the ball when the right hand is about right here. And about the time that they line up, they should be moving at about the same speed. The professor instructed me to set the misdirection up in this way. First, look closely at the ball. Then, look up and make some comment as you execute the wand spin. But don't immediately open your hand after the spin, as some people sometimes do because they're so happy that they just caught the ball. After you do the spin, pause, and then use the wand to indicate the magic. One final tip, which Michael Skinner passed on to me, helps to cover any flicker of the fingers during the release of the ball. All along, the fingers should be slightly working the ball inside of the fist. Then, even after you've caught the ball, act as if the fingers are still working it until finally you vanish the ball. Created by David Williamson, this wand vanish is both physically and metaphorically striking. The right hand grips the wand between the thumb and the side of the index finger. The middle, ring, and little fingers are curled in and ready to catch the ball. The wand should be pointing at the audience that's watching. The right hand is going to pivot up at the wrist as the palm up left hand holds the ball. The hands begin only a half wand length apart as you draw attention to the ball. Yet at the end of the move, the tip of the wand is striking the palm of the left hand. As the strike begins, the left hand moves towards the body just enough to slightly toss the ball into the bottom of the right hand before moving out towards the end of the wand. Be sure not to grab with the right fingers as you catch the ball. So hold those together as a unit. Immediately after the vanish of the ball, if you show where the ball traveled to, it helps take the heat off the vanish itself. This is one of the most popular of the wand spins for magic because it can be done even as the hand is holding out an object, starting just off center towards yourself, exactly this way, with the tip of the thumb extending above, because that's what it's going to circle around. The wand is going to spin directly around the thumb and end up back in the same position. The index and middle fingers are what spin the wand. The key is to give the wand an even, gentle, flat spin which is parallel to the floor. As you can see, the right hand actually has to hold itself in finger palm position in order to perform the spin. So it's a practical, valuable thing to learn for anyone using a wand during any sleight of hand move. It's never too early to start considering what sort of presentation you might bring to your routine. What you say as you introduce your routine should accomplish several things. It should create a compelling frame around your routine, and it should provide some form of context, rationale that explains why, out of all the possible things in the world, you decided this is the best thing to do now. If you're an amateur with a built-in audience of family and friends, it's possible you might get away with just saying, well, for my next trick, I'm going to do the cups and balls. But you'd have to be pretty special to even consider trying that as a professional. But even if you could get away